What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Pieces of Me. So this week, I'm going to piggyback off of last week's episode. Last week, I was talking about my personal thoughts on, lyrics and more specifically, profane lyrics and, whether as though it's too much derogatory language or whether it's just folks in themselves. Being said, this week, I'm going to be talking about my writing process. I've always been the type of person, when I listen to a song by an artist and I really like the song, I always kind of sit back and wonder, damn, I wonder what went into writing that song, and I'm always intrigued, listening to interviews and hear people talk about, how they write, or, what are the, certain conditions they like to write and conceptualize under. So I thought I would share a little bit of my writing process with you all. Writing for me has always been kind of Russian roulette. I have two processes by which I use, three actually. Sometimes I will have a concept in my head, and I will go looking for a specific beat that fits that concept. Usually the concept arrives in the form of a hook or maybe a couple of lines or maybe just a flat out idea, I want to do this particular song, and then I'll just so happen to be lucky enough to find the beat. Secondly, and this is pretty much most of the time, I'll go through beats listening, and I will actually start. I'll hear the beat kind of talking to me, and through that kind of subconscious connection I have with the music, I'll begin to write what I feel as though the beat is communicating with me. And then thirdly, this is more so from a lyrical standpoint. A lot of times I like to take industry beats and make my own little remixes, and I mean that's something a lot of underground artists like to do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Me personally, when I do it, I'm either trying to either kind of like the concept they went with, and I feel like I can have my own story to tell with that particular concept on that particular beat, or I will just like the beat and I wanna see what I could do with it, see what I could do differently, what type of lyrics and whatnot I can come up with it on the beat. So that's pretty much in a nutshell my writing process. Now I will be going into a couple of interesting tracks and verses that have some unique backstories as to how they were written and how I arrived at those particular concepts and whatnot to write. So let me start with Rain's request. He wanted to know about this verse I wrote for the song I did with Stack a long time ago that actually has not yet seen a release. It's called Tonight, at least the clean version is. So basically what went into that verse is actually pretty simple. I was online, and Stack hit me up and was like, yo, bruh, I got this track. I was like, all right, send it over, because I always enjoy Stack's music, and I'm always down to jump on anything my Havik brothers throw at me more often than not. So I was like, sure, why not? Send that shit over. So he sends me this track, and it's called Pussy Tonight. Excuse my language for, a few people watching, but, that's what the track was called. So I was like, damn it. Okay, so I opened it, played it, absolutely loved it, and I was actually a little mad that I loved it, because generally at this particular time, it's not really something that I was necessarily always about talking about. I've always been kind of like, a romance person. If I was going to talk about women and, sex or anything like that, I was always going to approach it from a romantic aspect, because that's just who I am as a person. But this joint was kind of rocking though. So I was feeling it so much, so I was like, all right, send me your vocals and everything over, and you know what I mean? And I basically just, I kind of turned my inhibitions off and went in. And maybe that song gonna get released one day if I'm just feeling a certain type of way. But yeah, so that's tonight, Corey, in a nutshell. So next, my awesome coworker Christella, she was going through my YouTube, and she found the remix I did to Eminem's "Beautiful." And so she asked me, she wanted to know what went into writing that. So, "Beautiful" was actually, I want to say, my favorite song off of M's Relapse album, which, I mean, I love Eminem, but I think all of us as Eminem fans can say, even Eminem says, I don't think that album was his best body of work at all. But nevertheless, "Beautiful" itself was, to me, a really dope song. And the intro in particular and his verses really kind of hit home to me. And as I was saying earlier, a lot of times I hear industry beats and I can connect with the concept, and I kind of want to tell my own story. So that's basically what happened. I downloaded the beat, and I made sure I found the beat with the instrumental and found the beat with the hook in it, the hook in the intro, and I just kind of went to work. I originally had wrote the first verse, and I didn't get a chance to record it before I moved back up to Maryland from North Carolina. So when I came up to Maryland, Corey Stack and I were living together, and we were chilling, and I was, showing them the track, and I spit my verse for them, and they was like, oh shit, let's hop on this. So I was like, all right, cool. So Rain had started a verse, and I think Stack was asleep. He was passed out or some shit. But anyway, Rain had started a verse, and he actually started recording it, but we eventually had kind of took a break with it, and we kind of never came back to it as a group. However, I came back to it months later, and I really loved the song. So, and I just happened to be going through some things in my life where I felt like I could continue and make, at least a nice little second verse to close it out. So that's what I did. I went ahead and I did another verse, and I finished the song, and then fortunately I was able to visit my old job at Pizza Hut in Brooklyn, Maryland. Shout out to everybody. Ashley, Lisa, Christina, Curtis, everybody. Stefan. And I was able to shoot like a nice little promo video. I don't feel like I edited it that well, but it was a nice little promo video, and I was able to put that out and get that song a nice little release. And I released that song as well as a few other remixes I had done to some industry tracks on my remix mixtape /EP. Kind of got a soft release on my website, which I'm probably gonna put that back up for y'all if I can. But there you go, Christella. That's basically how that song came about and what went into writing it. Alright, so Rippin' Rhymes kind of wanted to know They wanted to know what went into writing Dorian Gray and Don't Push Me off of Me and Secrets' album, Revolutionary. Dorian Gray, that song came to me. I was in the middle of basically starting what eventually became two separate projects. I was in the middle of Prelude to Madness, well rather what then became Prelude to Madness. I had those several tracks specifically written, and I was working on something I was going to call the Saga, and I happened to come across a beat for Dorian Gray, and I was like, yo, I love this beat. And it struck me as really introspective, so I wanted to write something that was kind of like withdrawn but still powerful, you know what I mean? I wanted to do it in a way I had never done it before, so I played the beat, and I started writing, and I literally like went to my bedroom. I left wifey in the living room, and I went to the bedroom, locked myself in, and just went to work with the pad and pencil and my headphones. So I'm listening to the beat and writing and everything like that, and I finally got to, I didn't even really have a title for it. I finally got to the last verse where I wrote that my portrait reflects all of the hurt and neglect. My name is Dorian Gray. This is the story of LA. And when I wrote that line, I was like, oh shit, this is it. And at that point, I had the title for the song, and it was then I knew that was what the album was going to be. I was going to call my album Dorian Gray, and the rest is they say is history. Don't push me. Basically, I was, I had a fair amount of beats going into me and Seek's project, and Don't Push Me, I kind of wanted to kind of go back to the Loco Insane days. I wanted to get back. I wanted to make something that was to that capacity, to that feel, but have it be new. And when I wrote the hook, I was like, this shit's gonna be a monster. And I wrote my verse, and I recorded it. I sent it over to Seek. Seek was like, I love it. And we knocked that joint out. And once I had it mixed, he was like, yeah, I think we should put it out. So that's what we did. So that's basically how that came about. Also, Ripper wanted to know about my song, It's My Life. It's My Life is off of Brother Ray, and It's My Life, I was kind of feeling a certain type of way about a lot of things that were going on. Without getting into too much detail, I was going through a lot of personal issues. And I was dealing with a lot of demons. I kind of was just, I wanted to write something that kind of illustrated that, but would still be upbeat, like, kind of just be like, it is what it is, you know what I mean, and I'm dealing, and, I've always been a fan of making things a little bit more alternative, and the beat just struck me like, I could do something really nice, make a nice little club party track, you know what I'm saying, and still have it be, real and have a lot of lyrical, really, really strong lyrical content. So, I mean, you hear a lot of my personal views on things, like, what am I living for, to be richer, money, stuff at all, how you figure, my nigga, and I had a lot on my mind when I wrote that track, so that's where that originated from. Alrighty, so the next track I'm gonna be discussing is a track I wrote called "Cold" off of my Phoenix Rising mixtape. And "Cold" came about. I have a friend named Shauna. What's up, Shauna? And she had hit me up one night. She texted me, and she asked me to write a song about. She was basically saying, like, a lot of times she feels like she throws people. I think she was going through some issues with her boyfriend. I can't really remember entirely the details of the text. I mean, it was a good couple of years ago. But she asked if I could write a song about the situation. Yeah, come to think about it, it was some guy trouble. So I was like, sure. And this is the first time I've actually ever done that, and it was actually the first time I've actually, had someone come to me and want me to write a song about their situation, about some things they were going through, and basically wanted me to tell their story. So I looked for a beat, and I found it, and I just I wrote it and I recorded it. I ended up re-recording it and adding a lot more elements to it. The intro, making the vocals stronger, giving it a little bit better quality once I had the capability to do that. And to this day, it's one of my favorite tracks to listen to off that mixtape when I do listen to it. And I'd say it's definitely up there in my favorites of, all the tracks I've done to date, which I have a lot of favorites of mine. But, I wrote a couple more tracks after the fact when Shauna would hit me up about things that she was going through or whatever. So just want to take the time to thank you, Shauna, for being a muse of sorts. And I'm glad you enjoy the music, and your support means the world. Last but not least, I know this has been kind of a lengthy episode, so thank you for bearing with me. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about my song "This One Time." This specifically because this particular circumstance of me writing happens literally once in a blue moon. Like, it's really not that often that I hear a beat and off break I know exactly what I'm going to write about, and I write it, and it takes place in like a day or two. I haven't written like that since. I very rarely write like that. I used to write like that all the time when I was like 16, 17, on the come up. Didn't really have much to do but schoolwork and, music. So, but, I was going through beats and I heard this beat and the song idea just popped into my head. I downloaded the beat. I came home and I told my wife, I was like, Victoria, I got this song and I'm going to basically write it about, I'm going to basically write me having a premonition of going out and getting shot, and as a ghost, watching, my significant other, and all those that I care about, having to deal with my loss and mourn for me. And then at the very end of the song, I'm going to reveal that it actually was a premonition, and that, the same course of events transpired, but I decided to stay home, and boom. And so she was like, cool, that's awesome. And I literally, I think the next day I was off. So I had the song written and recorded and mixed within the next day or two. And she came home from work. I was like, babe, I have This One Time done. And she was like, excuse me? I showed it to her. She was like, what the fuck? So I love it when I get that spur of information. I love it when I get that inspiration to write and record like that, because that to me is a sign that the song is gonna be a hit. And I only wish I had the foresight to give it a better release than I did. But we did give it a nice little video. Shout out to Get the 39 and Unity for their parts in that. Shout out to Emotional Productions for making such a fabulous instrumental. And shout outs to whoever did the hook, because the hook is phenomenal. I think that will probably go down in history as one of the greatest Lost Angel of Havik singles to date. And yeah, that's, I won't hold your attention any longer or take you away from what else you're doing. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, click the like button for me. And I'll see y'all next week. Havik Status.